these very odd frigid March temperatures. My name is Savannah Deretich, and I'm the Government Affairs Coordinator with Students for Life Action. Students for Life Action is thrilled and honored to be here We have phenomenal leaders, pro-life warriors, and bringing awareness to the atrocities of chemical abortion pills. Today, along with Rep. Mary Miller and 13 other original co-sponsors, we are launching today the first ever federal Clean Water for All Life Act, which holds deadly chemical abortion pill vendors accountable for waterway contamination from abortion water pollution. I have the tremendous joy of welcoming the Clean Water for All Life Act sponsor, Representative Mary Miller, who is one of the greatest champions for life in Congress and is willing to move mountains to protect the sanctity of human life. I would love to welcome Representative Mary Miller to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to be a champion for life, but I want to be a champion for the truth, and that's what we're here to do. I want to begin by recognizing the outstanding pro-life leaders and organizations joining us today. Students for Life, Concerned Women for America, Catholic Vote, and SBA Pro-Life America, who continue to be fearless voices for truth and for life. Thank you so much. As well as my dear friend, Sherry Biggs from South Carolina. Today, we're gathered to confront a growing and deeply alarming public health and environmental crisis, one driven by unchecked expansion of chemical abortion pills in the United States. The murder-for-profit abortion industry is not only ending innocent life, but is also polluting our water, endangering women, and operating with virtually no accountability. Every year, more than 50 tons of chemically contaminated medical waste, including blood, placental tissue, and the remains of preborn children, are flushed into America's water systems as a direct result of chemical abortion pills. Our water systems were never designed to filter these toxic substances. The fact is, the abortion pill ingredients used to starve a preborn child remain active and unfiltered in our water treatments. That means families across the nation may be unknowingly ingesting abortion-related chemicals in their drinking water, exposing them to potential health risks like infertility and cancer. The Biden FDA has enabled this crisis by stripping away basic protections and refusing to confront the environmental and public health risks tied to these drugs. The Democrats have pushed dangerous abortion pills into homes across America with little to no medical oversight. They have fought to eliminate common sense safeguards, and they have shown zero regard for what happens after these drugs are used, whether to women, to communities, or to our environment. Despite being told that mifepristone is, quote, safer than Tylenol, women are far more likely to bleed to death after taking it. The American people deserve to know the truth. That is why I'm introducing the Clean Water for All Life Act. Innocent life should never be discarded as waste. Our environment should not be contaminated, and women deserve full transparency about the dangers of the abortion pill. When women are fully informed of the harms of chemical abortion pills, I believe they are far more likely to choose life, sparing not only the life of their unborn child, but also preserving the health of our population. I want to thank the Students for Life and all of our partners for their tireless advocacy. Together, we will shine a light on these abuses, hold the abortion industry accountable, and work towards a future where life is protected, communities are safe, and abortion is not only illegal, but unthinkable. And I want to thank you all for being here today. And are you going to speak?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Representative Mary Miller, for your unwavering leadership and dedication to this critical issue. We definitely need more lights like you in Congress. Now, I would like to introduce the Vice President of Media and Policy at Students for Life of America, and I would like to add our chemical abortion encyclopedia, for that matter, Christy Hamrick, to the podium.
Thanks for being out here on this cold morning. We have had a lot of ups and downs on the road to this. Tony Perkins for the Family Research Council was going to be here and had a family emergency. Marjorie Dannenfelser broke her foot, but sent help. There's been so many things. Also, if you haven't noticed, it's cold out here. But we stalwart few, staying with the March for Life, come out for one reason, and that is babies are dying. More, 2/3 of babies, more than 6 in 10, die from chemical abortion pills. And Students for Life ask the question, what happens next? And the reality is they go into the water. More than 50 tons if you believe the abortion industry math, and I don't because there is no national abortion reporting law. In other countries, it's more than 7 in 10, 8 in 10, 9 in 10 abortions. In Finland, 99% of all abortions come from death by pills and are going into the waterways. That is a crisis. Today, 1 in 6 across the world is infertile, according to the World Health Organization. The definition of infertility is I tried to get pregnant for the last year and I can't. The New York Times is reporting in 2024, for example, is there an infertility crisis in America? And the issue was impaired fecundity. And what that means is the trouble getting pregnant and staying pregnant. I don't know how many people here know of a friend who's taken progesterone trying to get pregnant. Even for those in the GOP that like IVF, taking progesterone is a standard operating procedure. And yet, because of chemical abortion pills, an endocrine disruptor, a progesterone blocker, goes into our waterways. There are two groups that really love chemical abortion pills. The anonymous pill pushers that Joe Biden and his team empowered when they got rid of health and safety standards, and abusers who love to slip these drugs to women without their knowledge and consent. We are helping all the wrong people with our chemical abortion pill policy. All the wrong people. We're not helping women. We're not helping babies. We're not helping Americans. And in fact, we're even hurting endangered species because what's in the water affects everybody. So this brilliant bill, and thank you to Mary Miller, honestly, we're so thankful. This bill says that we want to prevent abortion water pollution, number one, and we also want to stop empowering abusers by requiring in-person care with a little bit of examination. Now, the only reason to be against that is if you don't care if women die too. It's insane that our chemical abortion pill policy today empowers that. And in fact, in England, a very pro-abortion member is trying to get rid of what they call pills by post because of the increasing death risk, late-term use, and the rise of all these kinds of issues. So what are we doing about it here? We're supporting Mary Miller's bill. That's what we're doing. So I want to thank you guys for coming. They're right. Since I potty trained 4 children, I've learned way more about poop in the water, I'll be honest. And what I want you to understand is what's in our water has tremendous potential to hurt us, and we need to do something about it. So thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much, Christy. We really appreciate it. Now I have the wonderful pleasure of welcoming to the podium another co-sponsor of this Clean Water for All Life Act, Representative Sherry Biggs, who has also been a wonderful champion for life. So welcome to the podium, Congresswoman.
It's my honor and privilege to be here today in support of my friend Mary Miller's bill. And I can't say enough about these wonderful organizations that are here as well. I am proudly pro-life, and I am very grateful to have received A+ rating from the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. I think this is something worth fighting for, definitely. With over 30 years in healthcare, I see the health risks that are front and foremost today for these young women. It's more than just a choice. I mean, these are human beings. As a mother, I understand both the responsibility and the blessing of protecting life. And I could go on and on. I can't wait to be a grandmother, and my friend Mary has enough grandchildren she should be able to share with me. But one day I'll be there. My faith is also another thing that helps direct my beliefs. I believe that every single life has value and purpose, and that belief is what guides my work here in Congress. And I know that's something also that Mary Miller and I share, and we've talked about it many times. I've spoken on the House floor and in front of the Supreme Court fighting for life, and that's something that I plan to continue to do. We need a culture that says yes to life with real support and real compassion, no matter where we are and what group we're in front of. So, for the young people that are here today leading this movement, I just want to say that I'm very proud and I stand with you and I thank you for what you do. And God bless. I hope y'all have a great, great day.
We're so grateful, Representative Biggs. Thank you so much. Now I would like to welcome to the podium of a man that I have the pleasure of working with on Capitol Hill to keep the GOP accountable to protect life, Tom McCluskey, the Director of Government Affairs at Catholic Vote. So welcome to the podium.
Thank you. I apologize for being late. I do blame Students for Life, though. You don't schedule a press conference at 9 a.m. after St. Patrick's Day. Except when asked to speak at this press conference, and I'm so thankful to Congresswoman Miller for this bill, because this bill has just so many facets to it that make it exciting for me. One of it, as a Catholic, it addresses one, that we are stewards of the environment, and we need to take that seriously. Except secondly, and more importantly, is the concept of human dignity. And to remind people of what exactly happens in a chemical abortion, and that we take a human being and treat it like a goldfish and flush it. That is not how we are supposed to be treating each other. Other aspects of this bill, it also shows the hypocrisy of the other side. They say they're there for women, but the first thing they do is to stop any reporting on the ill effects of chemical abortions on women. They certainly don't address that many of the babies being aborted are also women, and they ignore the science. They also ignore the science when looking about the effect on the environment. My faith is Catholicism. There's a number of different faiths up here. The faith on the other side seems to be adherence to abortion and environment. Yet on environment, they completely ignored their own beliefs just to get this abortion pill through. It was more important for them to kill more babies than it was to protect the environment. What other subject would they do something like this, where they would not go through normal standards? You can't build on your land because of a snail darter, but they had no problem pushing this abortive pill onto women with no studies about how it affects the environment, how it could affect the drinking water. You think it was bad what recently happened here in the Potomac? Now multiply that across the United States. And that's what we're addressing. So I'm just thankful for Students for Life for bringing this to everybody's attention, and very thankful for the members of Congress who are up here fighting and pushing for this. And I call on the administration to adhere to this legislation, push through reports, and also to stop this destructive pill that has been destroying families and women for decades now. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. Now, I want to welcome to the podium another wonderful human being that I get to work with on Capitol Hill to protect life. I would like to welcome Gwen Anderson, the legislative assistant at Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gwen with SBA Pro-Life America, and on behalf of our president, Marjorie, as well as SBA's over 1 million grassroots members nationwide, I want to thank Congresswoman Miller and Congresswoman Biggs for their just consistent leadership to fight for unborn life and for exposing the horrifying reality of dangerous abortion drugs. Nearly 4 years ago, the Dobbs decision returned the authority to legislate on the abortion to the people and their elected representatives, both here in DC and at the state level. And in the years since, pro-life lawmakers like these lovely ladies have done all that they can to move and advance protections for unborn children. But meanwhile, pro-abortion Democrats partnered with the abortion industry to aggressively push dangerous abortion drugs nationwide, disregarding common sense safety standards and putting women and girls' health and safety at risk. So where does that leave us? Well, nearly 4 years later, abortions are up since Dobbs, with about 1.1 million abortions happening in our country every single year. And an estimated 60 to 70% of those abortions happen via these dangerous drugs. Increasingly, these drugs are sent through the mail, and women are left alone to make painful decisions about whether they need to seek emergency medical attention and what to do with their unborn child's remains. In the past, the abortion industry could get away with the lie that it's just a clump of cells, it's not a baby, because they could hide a woman from seeing the ultrasound of her beautiful child and whisk away the child's remains, treating that child like medical waste without the mother ever even seeing her. But now that abortion has moved from Planned Parenthood to dorm rooms or bathrooms, and this includes in blue states where women are just sent home with the drugs, women are firsthand seeing the truth and experiencing the hurt of abortion. They feel the pain of delivering their lifeless child and often see her tiny human form. And if you don't believe us, I encourage you to listen to the stories of countless women who are sharing their experience with these dangerous drugs. And that's, of course, not to even mention the serious physical health risks of taking these drugs at home without an in-person doctor's visit to screen for key health factors before ingesting these drugs. The mail-order abortion policy undermines states who are doing good work to protect life, women's health, safety, and, of course, human dignity. 20 states have pro-life laws in effect, but other states like California and New York are promoting lawless mailing of abortion drugs and shielding these essentially drug dealers who are shipping drugs across state lines. For months, the pro-life movement and SVA have been pleading with the Trump-Vance administration to act and stop this dangerous mail-order abortion policy. Instead, the FDA approved a new generic abortion drug, and the Justice Department told survivors of the abortion drug violence to wait a year or more while they study the harms of the drug. Mind you, we are over a year into this administration and still have no update on the status of the FDA's promised safety review of mifepristone. There should be no drugs, or rather poisons, approved that end a unique, precious unborn human life and put women and girls at constant risk. At a minimum, today, the administration could end this Biden COVID-era policy, which allows mail-order abortion drugs. The DOJ's lawyers even said in a recent filing that HHS could suspend approval for the drug that presents an imminent hazard to the public health. With thousands of mail-order abortions happening each day, I would say that the hazard is not only imminent, it is here and it is happening in real time, and women are experiencing the fallout. This is obviously extremely disappointing that the administration has not acted, and I know that the pro-life movement and pro-life leaders are unified behind getting these drugs out of the mail, and it's demoralizing to pro-life core supporters. A full third of the GOP's base will be less motivated to vote or volunteer if we abandon their babies and mothers. Combating this crisis is common sense and common ground. Even a majority of liberal voters agree we need to put women's health and safety first when it comes to these high-risk drugs. So I want to thank Congresswoman Miller again for her leadership. It is refreshing to see members of Congress standing for truth, and it not only honors women and their unborn children, it honors the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gwen. We really appreciate it. Now I have the joy of introducing someone who has been the glue in these efforts and research on abortion water pollution. I'd like to welcome to the podium Executive Vice President of Students for Life of America, Tina Whittington.
So before we move on, I just want to remind everyone here, these chemical abortion pills are ending the life of a unique, living, whole human being whose heart has already started. And like what was said, we also collect some of the testimonies from women who've had a chemical abortion. And some of the saddest are those who say, I saw my baby. There was a formed child the size of a gummy bear. And I saw that child and I didn't know what to do. I was told to flush and just keep flushing, but I wasn't sure once I saw that formed child that I knew was a baby. So we started working on chemical abortion pill proliferation in 2018 in California because California had legislation that was going to push to make every California state university basically an abortion facility by forcing their healthcare centers to provide chemical abortion pills. Unfortunately, that has happened. But since that point, it forced us to ask a lot of questions. And when we were working on that in California, we got testimony coming into us from people that work at wastewater facilities saying sometimes they see these babies in the filtration system, these little bodies. And so it turned on something in our heads going, what is in the water? What is happening with all these babies' bodies? And like was already said, we know that there are over 50 tons of this human remains tainted medical waste being flushed into our waterways every year. So when RU46 was first adopted in 2000 and approved by the FDA, there was no way for them to know what we'd be looking at today. In the first decade, the use of chemical abortion pills as a form of abortion increased by 400%, and yet it was still only 17% of all abortions. Now we're looking at over 60%, and that's what's reported. It's probably likely 75% or more, which means it's over 50 tons that are being flushed. Not only that, but it's dangerous. People are getting these mailed to them. I speak a lot with parents and I remind them, if you have a 13-year-old girl who has a cell phone, she has abortion pills in her back pocket because there is no vetting. There is no proof that she's pregnant. There's no proof of age. It's a bunch of clicking boxes. They will even tell her how to get it shipped to her secretly, how to dispose of the box so that her parents don't know. It is an ultimate deception, and that is why this bill is so important. But I will also tell you, what we had to ask ourselves is that first drug, mifepristone, that is the anti-progesterone. It is a progesterone blocker. What happens to that? A lot of medication, when you take it, it is no longer active. It goes through your body, flushes out, doesn't act in the way it was intended to when you put it in your body. Mifepristone is an anti-progesterone. It blocks progesterone. When it enters your body, it continues. It is active. The 3 active metabolites in it are still active when it's out through your body into our wastewater system. So we asked, has anyone researched here in the US, is it in the water and at what levels? And the answer was no. So we decided to take it upon ourselves and test the water. We reached out to about 25 different companies in the US who test water. And when we told them, well, these are the 3 metabolites we're testing for, they all said, no, we pass. We don't want the job. Because abortion is a political issue. And I think a lot of people were worried about, wow, if we test this and our name's on it, what is it going to do to us politically? So we had to go to Europe to find a company that would test the water with us. So we have tested the water in 3 different regions in the United States. We tested it upstream of wastewater, downstream of wastewater, and we tested the tap water. And I want to tell you, it's in the water. It's as low as 1 part per trillion and as high as 11 parts per trillion. And I'm talking about in your drinking water, tap water. Now, we don't know what that does to your body, but imagine the volume that we're seeing and the increase of chemical abortion pills and their proliferation. That means that there are children today that in utero were exposed to these anti-progesterones, that as a child, as they were developing, now they're adults, and we're asking ourselves, what has it done to our bodies? And we know these anti-progesterones, blocking progesterone, creates all kinds of health situations from infertility, brain health, cancer in men and women. So this is something that we should all care about, is keeping this out of our environment, keeping it out of our waterways, protecting human life, not only at that earliest stage when these children are being aborted, but protecting their mothers and protecting all of us from harm, from progesterone blockers, from endocrine disruptors in our water that we are knowingly putting there. So I just want to thank you guys, Representative Miller and Biggs, for sponsoring this bill, putting it forward, and giving us a voice that will not only, like I said, protect that child at its most vulnerable, protect mothers, but also protect all life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. We really appreciate all your efforts and your heart in this. It has been so important to us. Well, Penny Nance is going to be here any second now, but I would also like to take a moment to thank all the 14 altogether co-sponsors on this bill. We have members from Texas, South Carolina, and Illinois, of course, with Mary Miller. We have people from all over the country on this bill and support. And this is only the beginning. Like, this is the first day that's been introduced. So we hope to really build support down the road. This has been years of building support, having conversations with Congress members on the Hill for at least 3 to 4 years now. So this has been a big project that we've been working really hard on with. And we were working on this with multiple groups. We had a letter even last year with over 41 pro-life groups and leaders on a letter urging Congress and the agencies in the jurisdictions when it comes to this issue to address chemical abortion and water pollution. So this not only affects, like, you don't have to be pro-life in order to be concerned about this issue. The people in the Maha world, people on the left, like, it affects every single person. So while we're waiting for Penny, are there any questions that we can take before she comes up here in a minute? Okay, then she'll be here in about 1 minute. So I'll have Mary Miller has some, Congresswoman Mary Miller has some closing remarks. So we'll have, oh, there she is, wonderful. The wonderful lady herself, Penny Nance, the CEO and president of Concerned Women for America. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for being out here in the cold. Sorry, my eyes are watering. It's so cold. Pro-lifers are here no matter what the weather. Feels like the March for Life, right? As the president and CEO of Concerned Women for America, the nation's largest public policy organization for women, I come to you on behalf of hundreds of thousands of supporters from around the country who want to express our gratitude to Congresswoman Mary Miller for her courageous stand for women and for the unborn. We're here today because the scourge of the chemical abortion drug must be put to an end. The chemical abortion drug is catastrophic from beginning to end. First, the drug is designed to starve and kill an unborn human being, made in the image of God, leaving the child's body to be flushed down the toilet or sucked down a shower drain. Second, the chemical abortion drug leaves women broken and traumatized in their own homes. 1 in 10 women experience serious adverse side effects after taking the abortion drug, and basically it's a DIY abortion, including sepsis, retained fetal parts, hemorrhaging, and even there's been cases of death. This is due to the Food and Drug Administration's failure to acknowledge the safety risks of the drug, and the Department of Health and Human Services' refusal to reinstate in-person dispensing requirements, to restore informed consent, medical oversight, ultrasounds, and screening for ectopic pregnancies. This is serious, has serious implications for the health of the mother. The abortion drug always kills the baby and hurts a woman. I know this because we're hearing from our Young Women for America leaders all over the country. We have campus representatives and clubs all over this country. And the chemical abortion is turning dorm rooms into abortion grounds. And there's women left behind who actually see what the remnants of the child. This is traumatizing for them, not only on a physical level, but on an emotional level. The abortion drug is responsible for more than 2/3 of abortions in our nation. So believe it or not, and I know you've heard a lot about this, 50 tons of aborted babies' remains are being flushed into the American water system every year. The water we drink contains doses of the abortion drug because the chemicals used to starve unborn children can remain active and unfiltered by the water treatment systems. I'll end with that. I mean, I just think the bottom line is the FDA and frankly the EPA is not doing their job. We have women all over this country who are suffering from what happened to them in their bedrooms, in their dorm rooms, the traumatized emotional state. But also we have women who are suffering from infertility all over this country. One has to wonder if these two things are connected. All we're saying is let's find out. And we're saying to the EPA, do your job. Test the water. Let's find out what is happening today. If 70%, 60 to 70% of abortions are chemical abortions, then we know that the remains of babies, 600,000, 700,000, are being flushed down our systems every year. This has to end, and I just really appreciate Congresswoman Miller for her work, her strong stand on this. And at Concerned Women for America, we'll be standing with her and trying to work to support this legislation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Penny, for being here. We really appreciate it. Now I'm going to give it over to the sponsor of our bill, Congresswoman Mary Miller, to close us out for today.
As we close today, let me be clear, this is more than about policy. It's about protecting life, defending public health, and holding an industry accountable for its actions that has led to the death of millions. We will not be silent. One thing that the abortion industry and the left, the Democrats, do not want is they do not want us heralding the truth. The American people deserve transparency. We will not accept a system where innocent life is discarded, where women are put at risk. The Clean Water for All Act is a critical step toward restoring accountability, safeguarding our communities, and reaffirming the dignity of every human life. I'm so proud to stand alongside Students for Life and so many advocates across this country who refuse to stay silent in the face of these injustices. Together, we will continue to fight for the truth, for our families, for our future, and for a nation that values both life and truth. Thank you, and God bless.